Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So in the previous lecture we have seen about the analysis and performance of a three-phase induction motor. So we have recalled the basic equations necessary to govern the working of a three-phase induction motor. So today we are going to learn about operation with unbalanced source voltages and single phasing. So what is a balanced source? So let us have a look at it first so that we can understand what is the meaning of unbalanced. So in the modern world we use a three-phase AC power system to power up all the industries. So in a three-phase system, all the three-phase magnitudes must be equal. All the three phases should be in a sequence, that is R, Y, B or A, B, C. There should not be any mess up in the sequence, and each phase should be separated by an angle of 120 degree or 2 pi by 3 radians. If these three criterions are met, then we call it as a balanced source. So now this is how a phasor diagram of a balanced source looks, and here we have considered the anti-clockwise convention. So the if the phases are in anti-clockwise, then we tell it as a phase sequence. So that is the convention. Some of the textbooks use clockwise conventions, nothing wrong in it, but it is necessary to read the prelude first, then understand the conventions, then follow the approach given by that particular author. So here I have considered the anti-clockwise convention. So three phases are equal in magnitude, they are in sequence, and each phase is separated by an angle of 120 degree. So only then I can call this as a balanced source. So we have studied about three phase voltages or three phase sources right from the beginning of the basic electrical engineering. We have also seen about it in transformers and generators and almost all the subjects we have come across. And in the power systems we started learning about these unbalances of the power supply. So practically it is a very rare scenario that all the phases will be balanced. Okay, practically it is impossible to achieve a theoretical balance. So there are certain standards to compromise these uncertainties. So now let us see what is a unbalanced source. Now when the definition of a balanced source is very clear, it can be obviously understood what is an unbalanced source. Among these three, if any one or more criteria is not met, then we call the source as a unbalanced. Okay, so here is a three-phase waveform having RYB with the different magnitudes. Phase sequence is also different. So we can call this as a three-phase unbalanced waveform. Now, how do we analyze this unbalanced waveforms? So now to draw a phasor diagram of this unbalanced waveform, then have a equation for it, it is very difficult for us because we know that in a balanced source, we represent it by Vm sin omega t, Vm sin omega t minus 120, Vm sin omega t minus 240 or plus 120. Now, there are various types of unbalances possible, and it is not possible to give a general equation using those three equation for an unbalanced source, because each and every time the magnitude will change, the phase angle will change. So how to generalize this unbalanced source by a standardized equation? So for that, in a power system, a very beautiful concept has been introduced. So we call it as a symmetrical components. So unbalanced sources are balanced considering the symmetrical components, and they are positive sequence, negative sequence, and zero sequence. So positive sequence component is a component which is in phase with the source. If RYB is the phase sequence of the source or ABC is the phase sequence of the source, then the positive sequence vector will also rotate in the same direction with the same phase sequence and the same phase difference. The magnitude of this positive sequence vectors will be different. There is another set of voltages which is called as a negative sequence vectors. These set of vectors rotate in opposite direction to the source. So their phase sequence is reversed now. So instead of ABC, it will be ACB, or instead of RYB, it will be RBY. So the phase sequence is reversed. Okay, and there is another component called as a zero sequence vectors. So this will add up any DC shifts in the waveforms, whether a waveform is shifted up or shifted down. To balance these components, DC component we call zero sequence vectors help us. So there is no phase sequence for these zero sequence vectors. They just have a magnitude and a phase angle. They do not have any phase sequence. So now the combination of these three vectors with the suitable magnitude will give us the equivalent form of the unbalanced waveform. So there are certain standardized equations for it. Let us have a look at it. So operation with unbalanced source voltages and single phasing. So that is the topic of our interest today. So effect of unbalanced voltages on motor performance to be known. Suppose there is some fault in the power system. It is true that there are fault detectors, relays are there, circuit breakers are there to operate. But before they operate, what exactly happens? Because it is true that the operation or detection of the fault and operation of circuit breaker is not instantaneous. There will be a small time lag in terms of milliseconds, microseconds, or nanoseconds. In that small duration, what happens to the performance of the motor? Because in industry we know that motor is connected to loads. So load may be various manufacturing processes. So there are certain motors which are very high speed, rotating at 30,000 rpm, etc. And these nanoseconds of error in the performance may cost certain damage to the industry with respect to the finance. So what are these effects? That has to be known. So motor terminal voltages sometimes may be unintentionally unbalanced for speed control. So this particular point we shall discuss in our later videos when we learn about the speed control using drives for a three-phase induction motor. So for the time being, we'll understand that this unintentional unbalance is not good. Intentionally to unbalance it, we should have a very strong control, because we should know the performance first. What happens when we unbalance the source, we should know it. Only then we can dare to unbalance it as per our requirement. So without knowing how this unbalance works, it is not recommended to use it. Okay, so now let VA, VB and VC be a three-phase unbalanced set of voltages. Okay, so I repeat the statement. So VA, VB, VC are unbalanced voltages here for our analysis. So we have a three-phase supply, we have three line voltages, and here we assume that the scenario we are analyzing an unbalanced situation. So now how to get the equations for this VA, VB and VC? So for this, we know that unbalanced voltages are represented by a symmetrical components, which are positive sequence, negative sequence and zero sequence voltages. So we call it as a symmetrical components relations. So this we have studied in power system analysis. So the equations for positive sequence, negative sequence and zero sequence voltages are something like this. Okay, so now we see a term alpha here. So what is this term? Alpha. So alpha is given by cos 120 plus j sine 120. So using this, it is possible to identify the magnitude Vp, Vn and V0, then represented by three symmetrical quantities. From there, it is possible to get the unbalanced voltages. Now, if you know what is Vp, Vn, V0, it is possible to find out what is Va, Vb and Vc. Okay, it is not difficult. Or if we know what is Va, Vb and Vc, it is possible to find out Vp, Vn and V0 just for analysis, because now we know that Vp is a balanced vector, Vn is also a balanced vector in opposite direction, V0 is a DC component. So effect of this Vp and Vn can be studied, because Vp creates all the forces in the direction of the source, that may be the rotating magnetic field or whatever, and Vn creates a rotating magnetic field in the opposite direction of the original field. So this helps us to understand how the performance will be altered. So I am giving a small exercise to my viewers here so that you can have a real feel what exactly is this. I am giving you three phase unbalanced voltages. Okay, VA, VB, and this last one is VC. Okay, so VA, VB, and VC. These are the magnitudes which I am giving, and I want you guys to calculate VP, VN, and V naught using these equations. Okay, so remember VP, VN, and V naught is a magnitude. Okay, so then I want you to draw the phasor diagrams for the same. So how to draw the phasor diagrams? So VP magnitude we get, draw three vectors separated by 120 degree in the original phase sequence. VN magnitude you will get, draw three vectors with the opposite phase sequence, and V naught you will get the magnitude, draw it as a DC component. Okay, so that's all I want you guys to do. Okay, so VP, VN, and V naught I want you guys to find out using these three. So this is a simple exercise I am giving you. Even though this is not related to this particular concept here, if you do this, you will get a real hold of the subject very easily. So let us proceed. So now assuming that machine does not have neutral connection. Okay, and then this zero sequence can be avoided from our analysis. That is, the neutral is not connected to a separate terminal. Instead, the star connection is just a junction, and no leads are being taken out from that point. Then we call it as a open neutral system. Then we can avoid the use of sequence component, and industrially usually these motors the neutral remains open because from the different locations we have to connect that neutral back to the source. It is difficult. Instead of that, we can keep an open neutral and keep it as a isolated. Okay, so this simplifies our analysis because we are among the three symmetrical components we are avoiding one. So performance calculations for positive and negative sequence to be calculated separately. It is not possible to calculate the entire performance at once. So first we calculate all the performance analysis with respect to positive sequence components. Then we calculate with respect to negative sequence component. Then using the principle of superposition theorem, we calculate the net effect of these two. Okay, so positive sequence components give rise to the establishment of air gap flux waves rotating at synchronous speed in forward direction. Okay, I repeat the statement. Positive sequence components or positive sequence voltage gives rise to rotating magnetic field rotating at a synchronous speed in forward direction. So the sign conventions of the speed and torque forward and reverse we have considered in DC motor drives. Same holds good for induction motors also. So now here is the equivalent circuit which you have seen in the previous video. Same circuit I have retained here. Using this circuit, I am finding out the equations for IR and torque. So instead of IR dash, I am assuming that this V source voltage is a positive sequence voltage. So because of positive sequence voltage, what is the current in the rotor? I am trying to find out. So that I have noted it as IR dash P. So that is a positive sequence rotor current per phase. So IR dash P is the positive sequence rotor current per phase. So if we know what is the current equation, it is possible to find out what is the torque. So this is the positive sequence torque or torque due to the positive sequence rotor current. Okay, so observe the changes, compare it with the equations which we have seen it in the previous video. So this is a small exercise, I am leaving it back to the viewers. Okay, so these are the equations. So getting these equations we have studied already in induction motors in electrical machines. Okay, from the equivalent circuit how to derive this equation that we have seen, and it is explained in the previous video. So now I am finding out positive sequence and negative sequence components. This is how I found out positive sequence current and torque. Next, using the same circuit, let us see what is the negative sequence components. So the negative sequence voltage gives rise to a air gap flux wave rotating at synchronous speed in reverse direction, because negative sequence components have a reverse phase shift. Okay, so then this is the reverse direction. The air gap flux due to the negative sequence components will rotate in reverse direction. So the negative sequence slip is given by the equation minus omega ms minus omega divided by minus omega ms. So this corresponds to a slip of 2 minus s. So now we know that these rotate in reverse direction, so that is why that negativity is introduced. Next, the negative sequence rotor current is given by this particular equation. So that note down that term 2 minus s properly. So this gives rise to this term. So this is from the previous equation. Wherever there was s, we have replaced it by 2 minus s. So then from this, the negative sequence torque will be negative. Okay. So we get that negative sequence torque is negative because the omega ms term is negative here. So what is the meaning of negative torque? So it means that it is pulling back the rotor, or it is opposing the movement of the rotor. So negative sequence components are harmful for production of torque. So now we know what are the positive sequence and negative sequence rotor currents. Let us see what is the resultant of this. So these two currents are vectors and they have both direction and magnitude. So we are finding the net magnitude of the rotor current using the equation shown. That is square root of positive sequence current square plus negative sequence current square. Okay, so this is the effective rotor current referred to the stator side. It is the net current because of positive sequence and negative sequence component. But torque is not a vector. Torque is a scalar quantity, so we can directly add it up, positive sequence and negative sequence components, and negative sequence component is a negative value. So this is how we get the torque equation. Let us retain the equation as it is. Let us not simplify it now, because while solving the numerical we can solve it very easily using our calculators. So let us retain the equation here itself. So torque speed characteristics of a three-phase induction motor. So we know what is the shape of the original torque speed characteristic. So here positive sequence torque is shown, and here is the torque due to negative sequence. The net torque is the using the superposition theorem. So this is negative and this is positive. We can see it on the x-axis as well, because left of the x-axis is negative components. So this is how we get the resultant torque. So torque is reduced because of negative sequence components. Next concept is a very small one, that is a single phasing. So when a supply to one of the phase fails, we call it as a single phasing. In a three-phase system, if one of the phase is open circuit or maybe the phase, then we call it as single phasing. We don't call it as a two-phase. We call it as single phase for a particular reason, because one path becomes forward path, another path becomes the return path for the current. Because as per Kirchhoff's current law, we can know that current entering the node should be equal to current leaving the node. So even though there are two phases connected, at a given point of time, current will enter to the motor windings from one phase and leave it from the other phase. So that is why we call this concept as single phasing. We don't call it as two phasing. Okay, so this is one of the extreme case of unbalancing. That is one of the phase voltages or current being zero and other two having a maximum values with certain phase difference. So this is called as a worst case of unbalancing. So in this case, the positive sequence voltage will be equal to negative sequence voltage in magnitude, and this positive sequence slip will be equal to negative sequence slip at zero speed. So now you might have a question: if positive sequence and negative sequence voltages are equal, then the rotor should not rotate. It is very true. If the motor was at rest and single phasing occurs, the motor will not rotate. But when a motor is already rotating and then single phasing occurs, then we have to analyze what is the scenario. So we can see that net reduction torque is very much compared to the previous graph. We can see that there is a greater reduction in the torque because of single facing, which is not good for the motors. So what are the effects of this unbalanced sources? It is true that we have seen the torque speed characteristic. We see that there is a reduction in the torque. Okay, what other things are there involved in this? So to understand this, we have to recall a concept of torque, how induction motor torque is obtained. So interaction between the rotor current and the air gap flux. So this torque is a cross product of rotor current and air gap flux. So positive and negative sequence flux are present here. Okay, we have positive sequence torque, negative sequence torque. We have positive sequence flux and negative sequence flux. So four components are present. Okay, current and flux. So when four components are present, there are four interactions possible. That is a positive sequence flux interacting with the positive sequence current. We call it as a positive sequence torque. We have negative sequence flux interacting with negative sequence current, and we call it as a negative sequence torque. These two equations we have seen, positive sequence and negative sequence torque equation we have seen. Now there are two more small parameters which we have ignored in our calculations. So that is positive sequence flux interacting with negative sequence current and negative sequence flux interacting with the positive sequence current. The torque because of this is pulsating in nature and their average value will be 0. That is, they will cancel out each other. Okay, so that means two torques are pulling the rotor in opposite direction at the same instant. So their effect may be neutralized, but these torques are present in the rotor. Now what happens? So this torque will create a vibration and they produce a humming noise, and this reduces the life of the motor because there will be a lot of stress in the rotor. So there is a difference between absolute zero and two quantities of opposite direction stressing on the rotor. Even though mathematically two equal and opposite direction of forces acting on the rotor, their net effect is zero. There may be certain stress points observed in the rotor. This reduces the life of the motor to a greater extent. The net torque is reduced and hence copper loss will be increased because of unbalanced voltages. So thus unbalanced operation reduces the torque capability and efficiency of the motor. So to prevent the burning of the motor, we allow only 5% of unbalance, because in the beginning of the slide we have said that sometimes intentionally we are unbalancing the supply voltage to create to control the speed in drives methodology. So there also only 5% of unbalancing is allowed. That is for a prolonged period, and for shorter duration we can unbalance it to any extent. Okay, and as soon as the single phasing occurs, the motor is disconnected from the supply unless and until it is very lightly loaded. Okay, so these are the concepts which we had to discuss.
So that's all we have got for today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for timely updates. Thank you.